What it do, y'all? I'm back. It's Smokey. We're back with another bang. And I'm coming through with another divine message from Most High itself. And this is a good one. Because this will get the people. Let me turn this down a little bit. You feel me? This will better help the people understand why I do this. And why your opinion, of course your opinion matters. People say, oh, your opinion don't matter. Constructive criticism from anything, from any outside. God always showing you something, even in your enemies. So you don't necessarily should let the words of other people get to you, make you emotional, but you can take facts from how they're reacting to what you say. So this right here, me speaking and posting this on YouTube, posting this on Instagram, and posting on TikTok, it's getting the people to understand why I post it and the people I'm posting it for. Okay? And today we doing life coaching. Life coaching, not just job coaching, not just work coaching, not just teaching you how to make money. Life. Bro, life. Because life is right next to living. And I always ask people who think they just got it all figured out this question. What's more important, living or life? Let's get into this. Okay, the words of the day. The word of the day. Well, first of all, the scripture of the day is, whoever drinks of the water that I will give him will never be thirsty again. I'm going to say that two more times. Whoever drinks of the water that I give him will never be thirsty again. Jesus said this. Whoever drinks of the water that I give him will never be thirsty again. That was in here. And the words of the day. The words of the day, y'all. Words of ideology. Ideology. And if anyone want to know, it's 11:11. If anyone wants to know what ideology means, you can do this right here. Ideology, definition. Ideology, a system of ideas and ideals, especially one which forms the biases of economic or political theory and policy. Whatever they said, I'm gonna dwindle it down to ideology. It's what you choose to believe in. It's what you choose. It's you having the choice to believe in it. It's you having free will to know this knowledge. It's you having the free will to read this book and choosing to believe that this book is good for us or bad for us. That's ideology. It's you choosing to allow that book to either impact your life in a good way or a bad way. That's ideology. It's you choosing to go to work because you want to or because you have to. That's ideology. Right? And we're going to talk about ideology being a good thing for us because it leads you to places, and it'll lead you to reading more. It'll lead you to grasping more knowledge. And a book like that, 13 Theories of Human Nature, a book that I want to reference you guys that has to do with a lot of ideology is Lifetime Family Guide. I really want to say Lifetime Family Guide because you put God first, but Lifetime Family Guide. And this is the book right here. By Stephen Michael Sack, attorney at law. And it goes over abuse, incidents, adoption, alimony, arrest, bankruptcy, child custody, civil rights, commercial transaction, customer transactions, contracts, credits, damages, defamation, divorce, employment, fraud, independent contractors, insurance, marriage, malpractice, Medicaid and Medicare, negligence, patients' rights, and pension plans, prenuptial agreements, property, that's prenup basically, property, small claim courts, social security benefits, tax audits, taxes, trusts, wills, workers' compensation, zoning laws, plus 40 more. Go get this book. If you think that oh, all I have to do is go through it and learn about it, you're missing out. See, it's a balance, because you can't just read and not do it, and you can't just do it and not learn about what you're doing so you can get better at it. So it's a balance, but that will be give you a more percentage 50-50 on the side where you need to know what you're doing. Okay? Okay, that provides you everything about lifetime, family, whatever. Flip. So get your shit down pat, okay? So let's go over this again. Ideology. In that book, Lifetime Family Guide, has a lot to do with your ideology, what you choose to allow into your life. Habits. In talking to your shadow self. Surprising realization. Oh, my bad, y'all. Surprising realizations. For example, you might be interested in new things. You might be interested in new people. And that's what I mean. If your ideology is allowing Most High into your life, allowing the spirit of goodwill, patience, hope, faith, prosperity, and abundance and strength into your life, you'll start to love new people. You'll start to be attracted to new women. You'll start to have different type of habits. Like, your bad habits might be, oh, I forgot to read this passage, instead of your bad habits is, oh, I need to take a smoke. And yeah, you will be interested in new people. And what that is, you'll have to be done with the old things, because that's not you anymore. That's not what you've learned anymore, because you unlearn when you relearn, whether you like it or not. And sometimes you need to let go of new things. So you have to be done with the old things. When you think different, you'll start to act different. And when you act different, you'll attract different things into your life. Ideology. Whatever you do, never do less. Ideology. Whatever you do, never do less. Ideology. Ideology. Never, because never become lesser of a person, or of a woman. Never become lesser of a person, of a woman or man. That's not being humble. Lessening yourself, becoming lesser of yourself, that's not being humble. What being humble is not having too much. That's being humble. Humbling yourself is not doing too much, not saying too much, not having too much, not having too much of a big ego. That's humble. Humble is not less. Humble is not not doing enough. Humble is not spending enough. No, it's not spending too much. Okay? So, when your cups are, let me give you an example of humble. When your cups are overflowing, a good thing to do is to let it fall into another cup, or aka another's cup. But never turn down the flow of water, or worse, turn off the water from flowing. If you know, you know. I'll say it again. Whatever you do, whatever you do, never do less. Never become lessing of a person, of a woman or man. That's not being humble. Being humble is not having too much. When your cups are overflowing, a good thing to do is to let it fall into another cup or another's cup. But never turn down the faucet or never turn off the faucet. I'm going to say it one more time. Whatever you do, never do less. Never become lesser of a person, of a woman or man. That's not being humble. Humble is not having too much. When your cups are overflowing, a good thing to do is to let it fall into another cup or another's cup. But never turn off the faucet water, or never turn down the faucet, or never turn off the water from flowing. I shouldn't have to explain, but I will. Basically, just because you have a lot of money coming in, and just because you have so much money coming in to where you want to, you have nowhere to put this money. You got everything you want. You have nothing else to spend. You got money coming in. That doesn't mean you should just stop how much money you have coming in just to balance yourself. Just invest that money into other places. Invest that money into other people. Allow that money to grow. That don't mean you have to turn the faucet off. You feel me? That doesn't mean you have to dial back how much money you make. Just add the things your money is going towards. Okay? Okay? So, basically what this segment of my video is about is living life is very important, but just living is more important than it all, because you have to be alive. You have to be alive to have a life. When you're dead, you have a life, but that's another process of continuation unto another life. So death is like bad habits. If you don't stop your bad habits, you won't be able to have new habits. Because if you don't move on, say you die, and if you're not able to move on, you won't be able to start new life. Feel me? If you're not able to move on, you'll walk into that white light. And you'll be stuck as a ghost. And these times today, the way we live, the way life is lifing, it's making it seem like they're trying to make it seem like you don't have to survive. They're making it seem like, or you should be comfortable with where you are. You are able to make a honest living. You should just stay with that. You are doing good at this job. You have an honest pay. You're able to pay for your bills. You should stay at this job. That's what they're trying to make us do. What they're doing is they're putting a bird and what they're doing is they're getting a cage and they're putting food in there, and then they're having the bird fly into that cage. And they're having a bird fly into that cage, And every time it flies into that cage, it sings, and they close the cage. And now that bird's like, I'm hungry, I'm hungry. So it starts to tweet, tweet, tweet. And when it starts to tweet, that's when they feed it. But if it's not singing, they're not going to feed that bird. And that bird's like, oh, I don't even need to sing. I can go feed for myself. But you forgot that cage is closed. It's like America. You need a passport to get out of the country. But once you get out of the country, you still feel like you need to go back to America to slave your life away so that you can go back out of the country. You feel as though we are all dependents. There's no independence in America, my guy. There's no one in America who's independent. You are dependent. You're dependent on the government. You're dependent on your boss. You're dependent on money. You're dependent on that car. You're dependent on your husband. You're dependent on your wife. There is no independence in America, my guy. There's always something you need nowadays. You need money, or I won't be able to pay for my water bill, or I won't. But that job, I need that job so I can get money. Oh, but even if I got this job, I got to deal with these freaking people. So I need my boss so that so that he can recognize that I'm doing my job so that he can pay me. Oh, but even your boss needs those people to keep coming in and buying those things that they don't need. So now America is built off a dependent system. Now everybody out there thinking independent woman don't need a man, you're dependent on the government. You're dependent, and actually you do need a man because you are using your woman assets. You're probably using your body. You're probably a millionaire off of. You probably a millionaire off of OnlyFans, and you need these dweebs, these weirdos, to look at your toes. You're dependent. We are all dependent. There's no such thing as independence. Because if you need to survive, now you need Earth. If you have none of that, now you need Earth. You might, if you're a farmer, you're still dependent. There is no such thing as independence. No such thing. Everyone's dependent on something. We're dependent on food. We're dependent on water. We're dependent on air to breathe. You get me now? So when you say, "Oh, he need this, they need that," he's not independent. Oh, he can't pay for his own stuff. Can you make your own air? Tell me. Can you make your own air to breathe? Huh? No, you can't. So that's why we always get separated. That's why we are not in unity, because there's certain things about life that we don't realize is not important. That's why when I go back to that to the beginning of my video and I asked you, I said, which is more important, living or life? Life. People will be like, "Oh, he's trying to get me with a trick question. He's just trying to make me feel as though all the materialistic things that I have doesn't make any sense." No. See, having materialistic things in your life is different than having a life. You see, the things you have is not your life. You are your life. What you do is your life. What you love is your life, not what you have. Because stripped down, naked, all we have is us. And living is what we say is a survival. So Of course, we need water to stay alive. Of course, we need food to stay alive. And of course, we need oxygen to stay alive. But everything else besides that, besides God, we don't need it. That's life. And that's why it's important. That's why I think life is more important. Because that gives us free will. That gives us the choice to be like, I like this, I like that. I like her, I don't like her. I like him, I don't like him. I got a type, I got a type. Life, that's important for you guys, isn't it? Life is more important. See, for me, life is not as important. See, my life and living for me is balanced now. Because just what I said. When God gives you water, you will not be thirsty ever again. I feel as though I do want to experience new things. I do want to go out there and see new things and learn new things, but I also feel as though I'm not gonna rush to do it. I'm not gonna, oh, we're gonna die anyway. I don't have you're gonna die anyway mindset. I don't have oh, we're not getting younger mindset. I don't have we won't be here forever mindset. I don't have you only live once. I don't have that mindset. I have a mindset to where, oh, God's gonna put it right there in front of me so that I know that it's for me. Because if it's not for me, then it's a lesson. If God ain't gifted to me, he put it in my life for me to learn from it. So like, if I do want to go out and adventure, go have fun, go hiking, I'm gonna ask God first. I'm gonna put God first. If I do want to go to a different country, I'm gonna make sure God's guiding me there. And I'm not gonna lessen myself for anyone. I'm not gonna let anyone persuade me to do something that I don't believe I should be doing, that I don't think that God is guiding me to, and I'll die. It's a do or die for me with that. It's if God doesn't want me to do this, I'm not doing it. If God don't want me to be rich, I won't be rich. You're like, oh man, he's just so stuck in his ways. Oh, he think that God is everything he is. He's taking him so serious. Why are you taking this so serious? Oh, he's a devoted Christian. He thinks he's perfect. I'm not. Oh, this and that. I'm not even a Christian at all at that. No, I'm not a Christian. You know, the true Christian, I am, to be honest, back in the day, you would describe me as a Christian. Because Christian means to be kissed by the sunlight. Christians was really what they called niggas back in the day. Until they realized that the people, confirmation, until they realized the people was the chosen ones, was the tribe of Israel. And so they called us Christians. They called us Christ-like beings, crystal-like beings, the beings who are able to adapt to the sunlight because they get energy from the sunlight. And God is that energy that we receive. God is that sunlight that we receive. God is that life force that flows throughout all of us. And so they called us Christ-like beings. They called us gods. And the Christians, they devoted themselves. That's why they follow Jesus Christ, because they thought Jesus Christ was a God. They thought Jesus Christ was God. So now they say, oh, Jesus is God's only begotten son, but Jesus is also God in the flesh. So they call him a Christ-like being. And now people who follow Jesus' teachings are now Christians. You get it now? I'm gonna leave off with that.